a chance to look into that company that Ross set up in Amanda's name?
No, Jennifer, I turned that over to Derek to take care of. I think he'll have a chance to get to it before I do.
Well, thank you, Mike. You know, I can't explain why I feel there's something underhanded about it all. Amanda doesn't understand it either. I asked her.
Ross?
Oh, Ben.
What are you doing there?
Well, I was planning on having a brief meeting with Amanda, but Maggie told me she was in with you, so I decided to wait down here.
Yeah, well, this is one of the few times that she's agreed to see me, so I feel very encouraged.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, are you?
Ben, I wish there were some way I could convince you that I want to bury this hostility that's still here between us.
Well, to tell you the truth, Ross, I would like that too, but somehow I always look for an ulterior motive when you say things like that.
No. Believe me, there is none.
All right. You can start proving that by telling me what this new company that you set up in Amanda's name is all about.
Well, I set up this company for Amanda as a tax shelter. I wanted to channel some of Amanda's income into it, but in light of the fact that so many people have so many questions about it, I'll certainly be glad to dissolve.
No. You don't have to do that. But I would like you to sit down with Derek and go over the books and the tax records with him.
Right. I'll do that very soon. Excuse me.
What, are you going out to see Amanda now?
Well, I'd like to, Ben, but I just don't have the time. I have to go over to the hotel and pick up Carrie. Nice talking to you.
Oh, Ben, did Amanda agree to see you?
Yes, she did. I also tried to convince her to come to the wedding, or at least the reception, but you were right. She got very uptight when I started talking about it, so I just dropped it.
Did you happen to see Morgan or Trudy anywhere?
Yes, outside picking wildflowers.
Oh, yes, that's right. Morgan wants them on the tables after the reception, and she's going to be carrying them in a bridal bouquet.
I tell you, I cannot wait to see this wedding that she's got planned.
You know, I was going to call a florist, but just as the Peace Clemens and his wife, they said they'd take care of the flowers, the wedding pictures, too. If I'd known that, Tony, I could have had the reception earlier. But I thought we'd have to go from the wedding to the photographer, so I made it for 5 o'clock.
Oh, Nola, I forgot to tell you, I ran into Tim, and I asked him to come to the reception, and he said he would. I was kind of surprised. I thought he'd be at Kelly and Morgan's wedding.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, he was hung up on her for a long time.
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot about that. I guess I'm just used to seeing Kelly and Morgan together at the hospital. It seems like they've always been in love, you know?
Can it wait till later?
No, it can't. I want to make this one right now. I want to toast Floyd. Welcome to the Reardon family.
Ah, thanks, Tony. But ever since I moved in here, I felt a part of your family.
I got a toast, too. I heard it at a friend's wedding about 2 weeks ago, and I thought it was so cute. Here's to Floyd and Nola, and may all their problems be little ones. Oh, gosh, I never thought about... Oh, well, you know...
We'll continue with part 2 of The Guiding Light in a moment.
Well, I'm sorry that your father couldn't join us here at the airport, but I'm glad he decided to take Barbara out to dinner.
Well, Daddy's very worried about something these days, and whatever it is, he's keeping it a secret from me. But I do know that he's been talking to his attorneys out in Chicago, so when I'm out there, I'm going to do a little sleuthing of my own.
I'm going to miss you.
Oh, no, you're not. You're going to be so busy with the wedding, you're not going to have time to think of me at all.
That's not true at all. In any case, I think I'll probably use the time to help the kids fix up that apartment above the garage.
Oh, you've got to be one of the kindest, most considerate men I've ever met.
That is probably an exaggeration, but thank you anyway.
You're welcome. By the way, I haven't told you this yet, but when I was in Alan's office today, the phone rang. I picked it up, and it was a woman, and I know it was Rita. She didn't identify herself, and when I asked for her number, she hung up.
Yeah, that sounds like Rita, all right.
Well, what I don't understand is why she would call Alan when she hasn't even told you or Evie where she is. I'm terribly sorry, Ed. I didn't mean to bring up a painful subject.
Don't worry about it.
Now, I want you to remember all the details of the wedding so that when I get back, you can tell me everything.
I'll do my best.
Good. And don't you think that I'm going to be idle either, because on the flight out, I'm going to think about arrangements for the baby shower for Hope and Jackie that I want to give. And the flight back, I'm going to jot down some ideas about the copper lantern in case I decide to take it over with Trish. What's so funny?
You're amazing.
Well, I'd much rather you said I was attractive or alluring.
Well, that's all true, too.
Cheers.
Thanks. I'll tell you, I've got a lot to drink, too. I mean, it's like my whole world has just come together, you know. And in the center of it all is Morgan. Which is what makes it all so perfect.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience that I think a happy marriage is the greatest accomplishment a man can achieve in his lifetime. If that happens, then everything else falls into place. And if it doesn't, no, we're not going to get into that.
Well, this is one marriage that's going to work.
You know, I have been watching you all day today, and for a man who's about to get married tomorrow, you don't seem nervous at all, are you?
Well, I'm a little worried about whether I'm going to remember my marriage vows, but other than that, no, I'm not nervous.
Well, don't be surprised if tomorrow you don't start shaking all over when you realize suddenly what you're doing.
Oh, who's that great-looking woman with Ross?
Her name is Carrie Todd, and she's just started to work over at Spaulding Enterprises in the graphics department.
Well, I better take off or Morgan's going to think I've changed my plans again.
All right, now, I'll see you back on duty in 3 days. Now, I don't want you to worry about anything and just concentrate on your wedding day and your honeymoon.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Kelly, all the best to you.
So long.
Well,
Justin?
Ross, join us, please. Just for a few minutes, then I've got to get back to the hospital. Carrie, how are you?
I'm excellent, and I wonder if you've forgotten about our gardening date on Saturday.
No, I haven't. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I'm surprised to see Kelly over there. He'll be back at the cottage, knee-deep in wedding plans.
Well, he's on his way there now, but I just wanted to buy him a drink for the big day. Yeah, you know, there's something so very touching about young people like that who are so in love, want to get married, spend the rest of their lives together. Young love like that only happens once in a lifetime.
See, Carrie, Morgan is Jennifer Richards' daughter, and Kelly is Dr. Bauer's godson.
I don't need to know who they are to agree with Justin. It's a very special, touching time. And anyone who's ever gone through it never forgets it.
Yeah, look, I'll pay your fee because I know you're the best private investigator in Omaha. And that's why I hired you to track down everything you can on Diane Ballard. Now, I found out the name of that firm she worked for. It's Laird and Sogard. Yeah. And I want any information you can get on her private life while she was living in Omaha. Never mind why I want it. Let's just say I want to even the score with a lady who has double-crossed me up one side and down the other. So, I'll expect to hear from you real soon. Yeah, goodbye.
Well, I'm sorry I took so long, but that was Alan changing our meeting tonight to 2 hours later than we'd originally planned.
Oh, well, we have an extra 2 hours that we didn't even count on.
Ben, I'd like you to meet Chaplain Andrews. This is Ben McFerrin, a very good friend of mine.
Pleased to meet you, Ben. Same here, Chaplain. Morgan, as you can see, I brought my guitar along with me tonight so that when we're finished the rehearsal, you and Kelly can tell me the kind of music you'd like me to play at the reception tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank you. Gee, where's Kelly? We should have left for Laurel Falls 15 minutes ago. He's so late.
Morgan, look, it's still light out, and if Kelly's really tied up somewhere, we'll just have to have rehearsal in the moonlight.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Chaplain Andrews, I'm so glad that you can be here for the buffet after rehearsal.
I'm looking forward to it, Mrs. Richards. You know, I could have picked you out of a crowd as Morgan's mother.
Well, I take that as a compliment, thank you.
You must have looked even more like her when you were her age.
Yes, but those were hard times for me. Which is why I'm so glad that everything's going well for Morgan now.
Vanessa said that she's absolutely certain that the woman who called Alan's office was Rita.
Well, Andy's just taking up all my time lately, but I'm going to make a concentrated effort to find Rita so that you can get your divorce quickly without having to wait for grounds of desertion.
Good. How are things going with Andy?
Well, as I understand from Lieutenant Wyatt, he's going to be going before the court sometime first part of the week. Now, Derek has talked some sense into his head and made him realize that the evidence against him is so conclusive that he's going to make a full confession. I'm letting Derek handle that. I'm going to take care of Trish's divorce.
Say, has Trish said anything more about going in with Vanessa to help save the copper lantern?
Yeah, she's very excited about it. In fact, they're going to start hiring people just as soon as the restaurant's legally hers.
I used to live here, that's why. Hi.
Oh,
sorry, excuse me. Morgan, I'm sorry I'm so late.
Where have you been?
Well, Justin, at the hospital before I left, he wanted to take me out for a drink, and he's been so great about giving me 3 days off for the wedding, I couldn't say no. That doesn't mean you're going to call off the wedding, does it?
Not a chance.
I think we better get going before it gets dark.
Oh, look at this.
Look at...
Okay.
That means you two.
Oh, no. Respect.
Nola! Hey, come on back out on the porch. Floyd is really good with that guitar. You gotta hear this song. He wrote this one himself,
Yeah, I already heard all of Floyd's songs. Just I don't want to be outside with Mrs. Peterson and Mr. Francher. I mean, he's so deaf you can't even hear what he's singing about.
Look, I'm sorry about that stupid toast Darlene made.
That's okay. I mean, she's just another person who knows the truth.
Don't worry about who knows and who doesn't know, okay? I promise you, in a couple of months, everybody's gonna forget about this whole thing.
Yeah, well, Kelly's not going to forget. I ran into him in cardiology today. He looked at me like I was some sort of creep or something.
Hey, you're gonna have to forget about Kelly now. Okay, you made a mistake, right? But after you marry Floyd, who's gonna remember? Who's gonna care? Look, so tomorrow, we're just gonna relax and have a lot of fun. Just like the good old days when we were kids, right?
I don't remember too many good old days.
You'll change your mind. You wait when all the nephews and nieces get here and they're running around whooping up and hollering. You'll like it, you'll see.